What's up, everybody? This is Roman Gennaro back with Empire Sports Talk, and today I want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Notice I said the Dallas Cowboys and not Micah Parsons, because we will touch on Micah Parsons, but this is more about Dallas. I know I'm a couple days late on this, and frankly it's because I did not want to talk about Jerry Jones, but it's obviously the biggest story leading into the NFL season, which at the time of recording this on Monday is just 3 days away. And at the time of recording this, my NFC East predictions that I recorded a week ago before the Micah Parsons trade has not gone live yet on our channel. It goes live at the moment in about 40 minutes. So the NFC East predictions that's about to come out are outdated because I recorded them before Micah Parsons was traded. So this is the response to that. So I want to talk about it because it's just, I've said it before about Jerry Jones. It's clear he does not care about winning, or he doesn't know how to do it anymore. Or, as he said himself, he loves the controversy. He loves the drama. He thinks it's good for his team. And so he stirs it up. Micah Parsons is the winner in all this. A 26-year-old superstar defensive player goes to a team that needed him, goes to the youngest team in the NFL that just got younger because in return they traded a 30-year-old Kenny Clark for a 26-year-old Micah Parsons. Plus, that's an obvious upgrade. And it's announced that Micah Parsons is going to wear number 1 on the Packers. That's a sticking point for me. This is an aside. It's got nothing to do with my topic, but I am very picky when it comes to jersey numbers in the NFL, and I personally hate the deregulation of the jersey numbers in the NFL. And now it just feels like college, and I don't like it. I think defensive linemen wear 90 or wear in the 70s or whatever. I think running backs wear anywhere from 20 to 49. I like the regulation. So the fact that Mike Parsons wears number 1, that really irks me, and it's irked me. I even didn't like back a decade or two ago when they permitted players to wear numbers in the 10s and the teens. I didn't like it. That's an aside to point. That's just my personal preference. I think it looks weird in the NFL. I liked that line was drawn between college and the NFL. That is no more. Anyway, back to the Dallas Cowboys. You see how I'm trying to avoid this subject. Jerry Jones has proven that he needs to step down as the person making decisions for the day-to-day health of the on-field Dallas Cowboys. He is the owner. He can't be fired from being the owner. He can, however, remove himself from being the GM. Even in the course of all this Micah Parsons drama, his son Steven and even his daughter have not necessarily criticized their father's motives and actions and words, but they haven't exactly been supportive of them either. You can tell there's a disagreement there. You can tell there's an uncomfortability with the entire team. Dak Prescott even came out after the trade saying he wasn't surprised it happened and he's glad there was a solution. It was clear at the podiums that Dak Prescott and new head coach Brian Schottenheimer wanted to talk about anything other than Micah Parsons. And as a GM, how tone deaf do you need to be to stir up completely avoidable drama with your star player when you have a new head coach coming in, when you have a regime change, when you have changes needing to be made culture-wise because it was obvious that Mike McCarthy's stuff was getting stale and he was a lame duck coach? You stirred up avoidable drama. Micah Parsons wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. All he and his team were asking was talk to my agent, the agent whose job it is to negotiate this contract. And Jerry Jones said, no, we had a handshake deal in a bathroom months ago, and I'm not budging. You know how ridiculous that is? That is absurd. This is entirely on Jerry Jones and his pride and his bravado. And this handshake deal thing, this is how I bought the Dallas Cowboys back in 1989. Well, Jerry, listen, it's not 1989. It is 36 years later. The world has changed. It was a handshake deal for $140 million, which, by the way, is $48 million less than the Green Bay Packers just signed Micah Parsons to an extension for. Minutes after it was announced he was traded, because they were waiting for him to sign the extension before they announced the deal. So he had already signed it when the trade was announced. Signed a 4-year, $188 million extension with the Packers. The money that Jerry Jones would not give him. Half of which Jerry Jones gave to Deron Bland a few days later. I'm not saying Deron Bland isn't a good player. He had a really good rookie season and then I believe missed most of the second season with injury. But yeah, let's give him half of Micah Parsons' money. Plus, in Dallas, you watched possibly the worst GM move, the worst trade in history go down in your own city with also a 26-year-old player, with also a player in his prime, with also a player that gave you something your team desperately needed. Did you look at that and say, good call, your team's going to be better now? Because that's what Jerry Jones dared to say following the trade. We're focused on being a better team now. Because Jerry wants to run with this narrative now that things broke down. Jerry wants to run with this narrative that Micah was a problem, that Micah was a cancer, that Micah was the issue. And now that Micah Parsons is gone, we can improve as a team. Nope. You want to act like Micah Parsons was drama and you have a problem with that? Yes, maybe Micah Parsons was drama. Maybe his podcast did cause a lot of stir. Maybe he didn't rank his own quarterback top 10 on his own podcast. Maybe the rumors of him not being the favorite person in the clubhouse were true. But since when does Jerry Jones care at all about perception and drama of his team? Well, since when does Jerry care about distractions? You know who the biggest distraction in Dallas is and who it's always been? Jerry Jones. This is one of the dumbest moves Jerry Jones has made in his time with the Dallas Cowboys. And this may be the one that seals his fate as GM, or at least it should. Jerry Jones is an 80-something-year-old man. He should not be making everyday game day decisions for a franchise. He is out of touch. He is too prideful. He's gone on record in his business career. He's a very smart businessman. This is never make a decision out of emotion. And yet this whole thing, this whole Micah Parsons thing boils down to hurt feelings. Jerry Jones's feelings were hurt that his handshake deal in a bathroom with a 26-year-old football player that doesn't know the ins and outs of contract negotiation was not honored because an agent who does know those things, who studied those things, whose entire career hinges on those things, wanted to step in and say, no, you talk to me. Because that's who you talk to. You're not new here. You haven't been new here since January 1989. You've won Super Bowls because you've signed players, traded for players, signed coaches, traded for coaches, fired coaches. You've won Super Bowls. But the problem is, you've owned this team for 30 plus years, but you haven't been relevant come conference championship weekend in 30 of those years because you love the distraction, because you think the distraction is going to lead you to the Super Bowl. The teams that win championships are the ones that remain focused, that stay the course. And with an owner like Jerry Jones that never shuts up, it is impossible for his teams to stay focused because their owner, their mouthpiece, their mascot is out here saying just anything that will get clicks online. So no, it doesn't surprise me that Micah Parsons got traded. He's the real winner here. goes to a contending team with a young quarterback, one of the youngest teams in the NFL. He gets his money immediately, and probably he'll get to beat up on the Cowboys at some point. My hope is it's at Lambeau in the playoffs, and the Packers eliminate the Cowboys for the 4th straight year, and Jerry has to watch. I would love that. Because as I said in the video that's coming out here in about an hour about the NFC East prediction, I'm tired of Jerry Jones. He caused all this. This was completely avoidable. If Jerry Jones had just said, you know what, we had a conversation in the bathroom, it doesn't count, the agent wasn't there, let's go back to the table and start from where you and I left off. Parsons is a Cowboy for life. Not a doubt in my mind. But you cannot stand up there, Jerry, and say with a straight face that the elimination of a 26-year-old Pro Bowler in Micah Parsons, and in return, a 30-year-old Kenny Clark, who's a good player, but he's 4 years older, and 2 first-round picks, makes you a better team today. You've alluded to the fact that you might use those picks to get a player today, but we haven't seen it yet. And your next move was to extend Deron Bland for $92 million. A good move, but hardly going to do anything for you in the absence of Micah Parsons. That's not going to cover it up. It's not going to gloss over it. You made a stupid decision. Go have lunch with your pal Nico Harrison and talk about the art of the deal, because you're both nailing it. Cooper Flagg is good, but he's not Luka Doncic. Both of you are nailing it. Go have dinner together and talk about it and leave the rest of us alone. That's all I have for you on this video. I am Roman Gennaro for Empire Sports Talk, and I'll see you on the next one.